Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Doud here, kicking off a post-CES week on Monday the 13th. And over the weekend, I had one person telling me that they were cool with Friday the 13th, but Monday the 13th scared them. And I get the sense that this joke is just going over my head, but I was kind of curious. Is that a thing? I mean, in my world, Friday the 13th isn't really a thing either, but I won't judge. You do you. So let's do us. It is January 13th, 2020, and this is your Digit Daily. So, whoever had 2 weeks into 2020 until I had to eat my words in the betting pool, congratulations! Though in my world this remains very much an I'll believe it when I see someone on stage holding it situation, Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo doubled down on a prediction he made a few weeks ago. That prediction was that 2020 would be the year of 5G for the iPhone. According to Kuo, there are 4 5G-enabled iPhones on the way for a second half of 2020 launch, which is to say, September like always. According to Kuo, we're going to get iPhones that can connect to both sub-6 and millimeter wave 5G technology, which will be great for millions of people across the United States, and a dozen or so people that happen to be passing within 200 feet of millimeter wave towers, line of sight, perfect. Exciting stuff. Apple will decide whether or not to turn on those 5G antennas because it's Apple, so areas that have zero or minimal penetration likely won't have the option of a 5G iPhone, even though, by all reports, the actual hardware will be there. And if that seems weird, it's completely normal, but also very weird. It's not unusual for phones to ship with some hardware disabled by software. Don't ask me why that happens, but it does happen. And next, you'll hear the sound of me shrugging. Aren't audio podcasts great? So the 2020 timeline for Apple goes as follows. Early 2020 will see a new iPad Pro with a 3D camera, which Apple calls True Depth, and everyone else calls, why is there a camera on my iPad? Spoiler alert, it's for the augmented reality that few people actually use, but more people should actually use. That same True Depth camera is coming to the iPhone in 2020 as well, but the iPad gets it first. What the iPad won't get is 5G support, which totally makes a lot of no sense at all. I mean, if you're going for 5G this year, go balls out, I'm just saying. The iPhone SE2 will also come out in the first half of this year. That's Apple's too small 4.7-inch iPhone, which people seem to love for some reason. But Apple is fixing that by also releasing a 5.7-inch model, which seems to completely fly in the face of the iPhone SE. But it turns out people want small big phones, or big small phones, or something I don't even know anymore. And spoiler alert, neither does Apple. A new MacBook Pro might be on its way in 2020, and I'm looking at my 5-year-old MacBook like, AirTags, which is Apple's answer to Tile, might also breathe consumer air this year. And of course, at the end of the year, iPhones, a new Apple Watch, 5G, and all the goodness. So will 2020 be the year of a 5G iPhone? I'm dubious, but I'm admittedly a lot less dubious than I was before. I just don't think it's very Apple-like to jump on board while the technology is maturing, and believe me, it'll still be maturing for at least the next 18 months or so. 2021 seems much more Apple-ish. So while we all contemplate how Apple is, let's head into the Roundup! A new leak seems to confirm a few details about the Galaxy S20, including the fact that it'll actually be called the Galaxy S20. A few blurry cam photos emerged over the weekend of the new phone, along with the boot screen, which confirmed the name. Also confirmed is the back of the phone, complete with a sticker that says "Do Not Photo" and "Do Not Leak," which, if I'm honest, is the main reason I'm bringing this up in the first place. Also confirmed is a gross camera bump on the back, which looks a lot like the camera bump on the back of the iPhone 11, but bigger and rectangular and somehow more stupid looking. Welcome to 2020, folks. It's gonna be a long year. Getting back to Apple, the phone maker made some changes to its trade-in program over the weekend, slashing trade-in values anywhere from 10 to 30% for its iPhones. Mac and Watch trade-in values seem to have stayed the same. Some speculation says that Apple might be trying to squeeze a bit more juice out of iPhone sales, which have plateaued of late, and one way to do that is to give less credit for incoming devices. However, there is some concern that less incentive to trade in phones might mean less opportunity to properly recycle the materials that went into the phones, something Apple has been particularly proud of in recent years. But hey, those phones didn't have 5G, so what good are they, am I right? Doctors and medical facilities have, for decades left millions upon millions of medical scans available online in unsecured servers. The big problem here is that many of these scans contain patients' personal information such as name, birth date, and in some cases, social security numbers. Security researchers found this data and contacted hundreds of medical facilities to advise them of this issue. Most of the smaller firms fixed the issue soon thereafter. But of the top 10 largest firms with hundreds of millions of scans exposed, none of them fixed the problem. TechCrunch reported the story, including its attempts at contacting those top 10 firms. And after TechCrunch reached out, one of them secured their servers, which just goes to show that in the opinion of medical offices, exposing data is fine, but people knowing you're exposing their data is bad. But sure, the medical system in America is just fine. If you made a New Year's resolution to learn a new language, a Chrome extension called Language Learning with Netflix might be a winner for you. The Chrome extension displays subtitles in Netflix in both your native tongue and the one you want to learn. It emphasizes the words that are being spoken on screen and has several options to help you pause and play back certain words and lines of dialogue to help you speak like a native. Personally, I tried learning Spanish last year and got 60-some days into the app Duolingo, but then I went on vacation and just never got back to it. I get the sense that I'll need to start over, and maybe then I could try this extension, but that's probably going to be a while. And finally, I saved the best for last. Japanese billionaire whose name might be pronounced Yuusaku Sawa is seeking a girlfriend to go with him to the moon. The $2 billion with a B bachelor is currently set to ride solo to the moon aboard SpaceX's Starship whenever the hell SpaceX gets around to finishing it, which optimistic timelines put as sometime in 2022. In the meantime, Maezawa launched a campaign to find his soulmate in a reality show called Full Moon Lovers. According to the website, women who are over the age of 20 are invited to fill out an application. The contest is looking for women, quote, who have bright personalities, want to enjoy life to the fullest, and want world peace. They also have to be interested in going to space. Personally, I think this is brilliant. I mean, you've heard of the Mile High Club. Imagine being in the 238,000 Mile High Club. That's just an opportunity that you don't let go to waste. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Doud, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.